I remember when a couple months ago, I was speaking with a friend of mine. He was not a Christian, but really close. And he was convinced enough of the reality of Christianity that he was seriously considering it. But there was a hiccup for him. He said, the problem for me is I just don't want to walk around feeling like a really crummy person for the rest of my life. He didn't use the word crummy, but you get the idea. And I said, no, that's not Christianity. Christianity is not walking around feeling guilty for the rest of your life. If you think that's what Christian identity is, then you don't understand Christianity. Christianity is, yes, you're sinful, but you've been forgiven and redeemed and extremely loved and valued in Christ. You don't walk around feeling guilty. That's just another form of pride. It's the same form of pride, just a different version. Pride is feeling really, really good about yourself, but pride is also feeling really, really bad about yourself. The gospel is liberating. The gospel actually says, yes, I'm a sinner, but I'm incredibly loved anyway because of what Christ has done for me. And that's what Paul is saying here. Paul is saying my justification in life, the verdict, that thing that Madonna's looking for, that thing for every single one of us is looking for, the verdict has been issued. I'm no longer in court. I've been justified through faith in Christ. So I don't care what they think, and I don't care what you think, and I don't even care what I think. I care what God thinks. And God thinks I'm a sinner, and I am. But God loved me anyway, and he sent his one and only son so that if I'd put my faith in him, I could be forgiven and loved and adopted. Now, can you imagine, just for a second, just imagine if you were that kind of person. Gospel humility isn't thinking more of yourself. Gospel humility isn't thinking less of yourself. Gospel humility is thinking of yourself less. Now, imagine if you could experience the liberating blessing of self-forgetfulness. Imagine how that would shape the way you take criticism. How many of you, when you feel a little bit of criticism, just a tiny little bit, immediately you get defensive, immediately you overreact, immediately you shut down? If you really had gospel humility, when someone criticizes you, guess what? It doesn't destroy you. If you don't have humility, you're utterly destroyed. You're undone. I can't believe they think that about me. On the other hand, if you're a really proud person, well, I don't care what you think about me. Your opinion is irrelevant because I don't care about you. I only care about myself. I only care what I think about myself. It's all about my standards. So neither one of them really gets to value of criticism. But if you've got gospel humility in your life, when someone criticizes you, you say, oh, look, an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to change, an opportunity to improve. You think about leadership in the church, one thing that every leader can expect is a little bit of criticism. So if you really want progress as a leader, you want gospel healing, the healing is in the humbling, but the humility isn't like anything that we think about humility. The humility isn't thinking less of yourself, humility is thinking of yourself less. So it's not even about me. I can enjoy honor. I can enjoy prestige. I don't have to have it, but I'm not afraid of it either. I don't run away from it. I don't look in the mirror and fall in love with myself and praise every little attribute of my physical and all kinds of my constitution. But neither am I looking in the mirror and cringing and thinking, I'm such a terrible person. I'm way too fat. I'm way too skinny. I'm way too whatever. You've been healed by the gospel. The gospel is that it's not all about me. And it's not about me in the sense of I don't need to be arrogant, but neither do I need to be insecure and overwhelmed. I need to be reminded that I'm loved and valued in Christ. Don't you want to be the kind of person who's liberated, who's not living in the past, you're not living in the future. You're not always wondering, if I only would have done that, if I only could have been better, if I wouldn't have said that, I can't believe, and the guilt and the shame and the anxiety and the worry. Could you just imagine being freed from it so that your work, you could really enjoy your work? So that even if you got second place, you could really enjoy winning second place because the first place person actually did this amazing triple flip, and just seeing it happen was so beautiful, and I enjoyed it. Could you imagine in your home and in your relationships where it wasn't so much about you, but that you were liberated to give yourself away to the other person? I'm telling you, the only way to that kind of healing, the only way to that kind of freedom is through the gospel. Gospel humility. Not thinking more of yourself, not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less.